Okay, Billy on defense, Wolves on attack. As we just saw with the stats, Billy have a really rough defense record at the moment. And Wolves kind of play this map a little differently to like what people are used at. There's a lot of passive pressure over towards B with the wall and the smoke, and then there's a lot of passive pressure over towards A with the Cypher as well. Fade Eye clears all the back of sight as well here. Yeah, they don't even need to re-clear anything. The smoke's good though. The smoke kind of saves them a little bit, otherwise they had full vision the whole time. Dog goes over towards middle. Might have heard the Omen running, I'm not sure. They got a camera that in theory sees over the wall.
This is dangerous, he could get caught. Oh, the timing was pretty good from Spring, just after the clear had come from the Trailblazer. But why is he at least
good rotate from Billy. They got everyone here. We do have a Fade that's lurking and going to create a little bit of pressure over towards B, but I don't think they should win the jaws to get over towards site here.
That's a very weak Y.
It's a really good nade.
Has to get out of the way. Just going to damage up Live Sword. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The entirety of BLG are here. Bolts low. They are beaten back.
The pivot.
Black and blue by some of this util exchange across the map. Are they going to go for it? Leviuso's waiting for them. Into his clutches falls YU.
Really good Omen flash.
Just finally get rid of that 10 HP YZ in heaven. But Rushia simply steps up in
Nicely done. Okay, they kind of wrecked them here. As soon as they lost this first duel over towards middle, it didn't really look like Wolves had the best plan. Eventually then the end call was like the Fade was just making sure held over towards B for some kind of reaction, and then they tried to go around the world over towards B, but... 2-1 on the pistols. First pistol for Billy. Chloe underscore Shrimp with the Prime, thank you for the 2 months. And Caffeinated Katie as well with the Prime, thank you for the 3 months, dude. Attack smoke, yeah, is really one-sided. The idea of the attack smoke was to double block vision.
They know how to beat Wolves, but do they know how to beat them on this map? Even Sentinel struggled with this attack side from Wolves, where they got to
what if the first map isn't uploading? Okay, let me have a look at it.
Spraying him off wildly, haphazard, has to back away. Catches YU though, as he steps
yeah, the nade was nice here as well. They do kill sight, so they could maybe go sight.
Pretty devastating impact from the duelist on ramps, leaves Wolves down to their last 2 players.
YZ with a good amount of kills, 2 away from his ult.
Spring inside his poison orb is hoping for a pot shot. And he's got nothing to see as it clears.
No fuel.
Double stacked up on BLG. They should make light work of this situation, and they do. We're dropping a couple players. YZ was happy to take several engagements towards ramp, get very close to that showstopper. Only 2 orbs away, very early into this half. And to put this map in context a little bit more, why just as BLG have gotten off to a great start.
Yeah, let me try and re-upload it.
Map for them historically. In China, they got 13-1 by Trace. They lost to this very Wolves team 13-8 in that upper bracket semi. So historically, it's not favored them, but this is the perfect start to turn the tides. This is going to take everything they've got left in the tank.
Tech balls? Dude, tech balls for me to upload the VOD, it's incredible.
Make it back to the playoffs. He knows what it takes. He's been there before. So is K-Knight. Against a Wolves team trying to make this kind of run for the very first time.
It should be uploaded now.
He's got an audio issue down on stage. Be rectified momentarily.
Yeah, it's by the time.
I mean, there's a lot of history between these 2 teams. We definitely delved into that at the start of this game. But the fact that BLG, in order
going to Iceland next week, you have some Rex, mate. I haven't explored much, man. I got nothing for you, dude. I think honestly after Toronto, I'll explore a bit more.
That we'd be looking at an event.
You're asking someone that rarely leaves the house.
So long ago, they stood at the top of the world. That speaks volumes about the depth that's starting to develop in the Chinese
Bard was in chat. He might know a little bit.
2 teams from China still alive in this Swiss stage, still fighting for their playoff spot, speaks volumes. And remember, big brother Shilai Gaming awaits in those playoffs as well. We're in for a treat in this game, and we're going to see much more Chinese value.
Ma, someone's asking for recommendations of what to do in Iceland or where to go. I feel like you're the guy.
How good Shilai Gaming are. Waiting, watching this Swiss stage. Some absolutely sick players.
What's the longest period about leaving the house you've been through?
Who's just been tearing up.
What's the time span?
Throughout this year.
Because in COVID, I definitely tanked staying in the house for a long time. You talking like last 2 years, last year?
It smacks of sandbagging, but
Ain't no way, but my humble king.
I will allow it. But again, with these two teams showing us what number 2.
I don't know. The thing is, I go to gym.
Get you more excited, only whet your appetite for what
Ever? God, I would hate to think what it is ever.
later on this week, but for now,
Never leaving the house in my prime. I would probably say I reckon I've done a month.
Want to secure a tight little bonus.
When I didn't go gym as well, maybe over a month, chat.
I'd love to get close up some of these angles. They've got fair control over towards B main. Obvious keeping Wolves back towards mid engagement from YU, and YZ thinks better of taking that. Just collects the orb.
Rookie numbers.
From the showstopper.
Okay, let's get back here. The bonus isn't too bad. A couple of the Spectres. These, especially when they're good with the Spectres, they get 2 kills each. Well, sorry, 1 kill each with the Spectres. Big duel over towards B main.
Now needs to kind of wait for his teammates on the extremities to give him a little bit more of an inkling where the remainers of Billy are arranged.
YZ is currently pressing up towards A main. If you look at that on the minimap, that's going to keep BLG interested towards timing. This side of the map, wow, they're rotating through mid right now. YU just catches the first.
Yeah, they wanted to be proactive. I can't blame them. Don't think it was bad.
Too happy to explore on
Maybe I would react somewhere else in the map, but
bolster that mid presence for Wolves pays off beautifully. It sees YU emerge on the perfect timing to unseat them. This leaves YZ in a position. Paint shell still at hand. Sufat relatively low. It's a big ask for even the best in this situation. I count YZ among them. He too feels that discretion might be the better part of valor here. Wyatt, they have to fight another day.
He did full invest into the Phantom this round, so certainly wants
save on this. Sure. I mean, he invested a little bit too much into this round anyway, so saving's so fine here.
Billy just
save the gun or die for the ult here. No, I mean he invested too much. I'm saving.
And maybe it's a nervousness about. Knowing the A side of the map
I do think in an ideal world you push the sides.
Instead of sort of rotating,
like I think the right reaction here is double push B main with 2, but I didn't fully look at the minimap.
In theory, you'd be considered reasonable for that decision. It blows up in their face though.
Or you push over towards B main, you have 1 B main, and then you double stack over towards A. But again, I don't want to like flame them too much for being proactive, because you want to be doing something.
I mean, Sufat has to respond very quickly to that call from YU. Just in time.
Really just serving themselves up. Here's the full buy from BLG. Max investment still.
Okay, wall over towards B, and normally the smoke that goes over towards here kind of forces Billy to play in front of it.
Right now, solo. Wolves, no emphasis.
We have instant tether over towards B to make sure they're not taking over towards B main. They put the smoke here, so they create pressure once it goes up, and then they insta-group to A, or are we...
Absolutely happy to make.
Okay, we're playing slow on this one.
There is a...
I was thinking with what they did, they kind of created a lot of pressure that they could just insta-group.
As attackers on this A side.
This is like a good example to start talking about the passive pressure, right? You got Cage over towards here, means that they can go over towards Heaven, as we can see. Camera's going to spot them. And then at the same time over towards B, you got the wall smoke. Speaking of B, Flash went over towards B, hit the Viper, so they know there's some kind of pressure over towards B main.
And YZ was drawn out of mid back to sort of reinforce this position, so mid's a little weaker now as a result. And that might be Wolves' funny.
Camera's still not broken over towards Heaven. Still getting info over towards B. Skydog goes out, spots the Viper.
Heaven, so at least we'll know if anyone's walking up.
Yeah, with that info, knowing that there's 1 over towards B main, it keeps them strong 3 over towards B, especially with the early info of the camera on A. Oh, that timing is unbelievable. I think he saw him when he satcheled across. It was nice either way.
Heavies has pushed up now. Net closing on Sufat. He's able to deal with YZ, but time wasn't there anyway for Wolves. It would have been a struggle for them to get anywhere on the map after that.
Yeah, it was nicely done from Billy. This camera saved him a lot, and at least Wolves found it in this round as well, so they can kind of work out why there was such a big stack over towards here. A little bit unlucky with timing.
That timing is just going to have Juicy sick to his stomach. Was that just milliseconds away from him getting an easy kill with YZ on the rope? It's an early
There we go.
timeout
We've got the
call
Iceland
from
recommendations in the chat from Motherboard.
This was the map I called out earlier when he was going for timeouts. Had significant impact. There were moments where Wolves began to go on runs
Travel
against
agent, yeah, he's got it
Sentinels.
down.
That map so close. Almost had the most unlikely upset win to
Okay.
open the tournament for them.
I like the early timeout
The
here.
last time we saw Wolves, for example, on this split map, with a lot of action over towards B.
They can definitely
Sentinels
talk
really
about the
wanted to push
fact
and take
that
the B
maybe if they
control
go
and try
A
to set
default, they
Zephyr
got to
up.
break this camera.
Spring was finding really good opportunities actually just to win straight up duels against that Sentinels Yoru. Here though, Wolves have not been emphasizing that B part of the map really at all. We've seen Spring try and get that Poison Orb far forward, sort of past that B main choke, but there's been no fighting for that part of the map at all yet. Mostly that early probe towards A and then pivot up mid. Wolves definitely feeling like it's time for a bit of a change.
Spring's lurks were so high impact. He was absolutely ruling B main. He was finding timing windows to get deep into the site so Wolves could pivot late. They love the late pivots on this map. Absolutely love them. And Billy knowing that, just need to not overcommit to rotates. That's what Sen were falling for often because you just wouldn't expect Wolves to pivot back to B with the low time remaining that they do.
Fade's taking the hit.
Common, they actually,
They decide to force into this one. You go Wolf Smoke to create pressure, and Billy against it, kind of doing the higher low over towards B, expecting someone to swing out for this.
This has definitely been more methodical.
Got no flashes to push them off this angle, so they're going to feel good. They just have to shoot whatever util comes in front of them.
Just going to throw up that poison cloud, so Sufat can likely get onto this orb. It's just one away from the knife.
Oh, that was nice. Yeah, this is good though. Billy come in a little bit prepped for this. They have an idea of how to deal with this stuff over towards B.
Rushi had the perfect location there to punish that poison orb. Found a gap just above it.
And like the Prowler that locked on here, it doesn't give you the info that they're up at the top. Like Boombot will bug out a little bit so you know they're on high grounds. The Prowler won't do that. Oh, was he just face in middle?
No doubt about it.
Okay, it's a good bait in for the Viper though. Has to get two.
So Juicy is claimed. Why you lingers in mid though?
Meanwhile, double push over towards B.
Really trying to get into heaven, I think, with some burst of momentum.
Wait, what a kill that is. 16 HP.
That is massive. Now it's K-Knight, who doesn't quite know really if the plan is to stick to B, but Lysor's going to reveal the intent of Wolves now.
Yeah, knows he's low.
He wants to keep this Cypher as busy as possible for as long as possible.
No way. Drive by with a shorty is a big round, dude. Respect.
Feel good, and that's a 4v5 conversion we were saying that was sorely missing.
Heroic play.
I thought maybe he would get like 100 damage off here. I can't believe he stays alive.
Juicy gets that initial 1v1 kill here against YZ.
He picked with the dog. It wasn't too bad. It ended up being a pretty nice shot. Maybe I prefer some kind of double swing.
Is sickening. He called out the importance of that 1v1 win with YU taking his time. Such high impact.
So how do you build off this foundation? Got a buy here for Wolves. They look towards B this
1,
time.
2, 3, 4. Can't buy next. 1, 2, 3. Can't buy next. Huge rounds.
There's a drift here through sewer though from Wolves.
K-Knight missed his trip for middle and ended up putting it. I've never seen anyone do that. Putting it across here. Picks it back up, puts the proper trip down. And we got a judge close. And this is the classic. This is actually the reason that they beat NRG back in the day. YZ's judge. Fatal goes in, but they don't capitalize off it off the site. It's not a great fatal.
Post nightfall. K-Knight here. Oh, the spray through the cyber cage is sublime. Levius also to his right can assist.
Oh my, that's
Juicy.
a lovely kill though.
You can't account for those. You can't count on them. That's given Wolves another way into the round.
They want to press forward. Juicy wants to break the crosshairs a little bit ahead.
Yeah, you're a lunatic.
Goes back in,
Low HP, decided to swing it, maybe because he realized that the judge is just in the worst spot ever if that happens.
No chance to make good use of this weapon in this round. And here it's all good. It's long range.
Ended up being nicely handled by Wolves, but that, yeah, a couple of misplays. How did they get this kill? How did they get this going smoke? Was it just pure spam, or was there any kind of
and now Wolves,
tag that I missed?
We're looking for on this attack side starting to build. Great util usage to clear that close angle. They suspect that a judge might be waiting.
Juicy is turning up right now. Gets the trade with just
just straight up, sure.
We're able to collect this kill.
Wait, Juicy's kind of opening it up 2 rounds in a row, no?
That is so
He did this in
high
middle
risk,
as well.
and he's absolutely punished for that. Wolves had no other options, by the way. They had no map control elsewhere.
Yep.
For all they know,
Yeah, they keep giving them like a really important kill to get back into the
they
rounds.
can feel themselves potentially.
And that's why he's getting a little bit annoyed here. And there's another opening kill.
On this Eco Spring back to doing what we know know best from him on this split map, which is just playing B main, taking it over.
This time Russia, though, steps pretty far forward. You can see where the Omen for Billy went down. Spring on a passive line is able to find an easy kill.
I know exactly where.
Juicy, man, I'm getting excited about him, White. He's been out of
Russia save money for the AWP. Yeah, that's true.
in a 4 versus 5 to give Wolves away into the round. Now they get a rare situation where they start from the
I think
front.
this is a misplay from Levius as well. Cypher, oh, and he holds the judge. They know he has a judge here. Should always get that pistol out.
Easy B take for Wolves.
This round is as good as done.
Yeah, Wolves had a good... I mean, Billy kind of had a good start, but... I also like the fact if you just look at the 2 Wolves comps at the moment, it's very different to what teams play, right? The Ascent, like their comps a lot different, and their split, at least like the way they play it with the passive pressure over towards B with the Viper is different as well. Like teams will... It's not normal, it's not what you normally play in prac.
They've got a bit of bank, a bit of cushion. It's only a stinger that Neff would be maintaining. He'd had to cross in the dying seconds, I think, to pick up this rifle, and Juicy does not want to allow for that. But at some point, Wolves have to get out of dodge. They've got to get off the site. Juicy checks it. It's not good enough. Neff finds him flash, eventually handled. And Wolves get 2 players out. Costly, yes, but these attack rounds don't come easy, as we've just seen already.
Fair amount of damage.
Question from our fan, do you think the CS method of having many teams in tournaments would work for Valor? The only reason it works for Valor is because of skin gambling money and gambling sponsors. It would work if you get those kind of sponsors and you allow that stuff, sure.
1-2, get into a site with a showstopper, use the pit for the post plant to win things out.
It's the only reason it works though.
The heat early on. They've seen what Wolves have been able to do on this attack.
In 2027, I think they'll do less of like a league and more like kickoff tournament style thing, because I think it makes more sense.
A lot of these rounds, and AWP would definitely help him in a situation like that, and he is going to pick it up. See where he decides to post up B main, so likely hoping to just deal with Spring if that Viper, who has been an absolute nuisance, decides to continue to contact push up.
All right, round number 8 coming at you.
Okay, we got the Viper lineup. Good spread.
Thinking ahead, perhaps just a little to what playoffs would mean.
And then we got Op on defense as well, playing over the top of the smoke. So at the moment they've had like 2 different ideas of how to punish the passive pressure over towards B. Yeah, this is kind of nice. As soon as you see this ult down towards here, you kind of know like as soon as you see this ult as deep as this, you should know where the Viper is. They forced the Viper away. This was handled pretty well from Wolves. It's an ult for an ult.
But they can slow things down. They don't need to right now. Going back to what they
in reaction to losing middle, we get a little bit more aggro over towards B.
YU towards A, go for a late pivot.
This whole approach to the round for Wolves has left YZ kind of stranded.
Yeah, getting very proactive on this one. Are we ready for close right? Timing on the camera is really unlucky. They might insta-react over towards B. The Omen's going to get hit. Does have Omen flash. Could be a really strong Omen flash. It's 1, 2, 3 on Heaven. No peek.
First shot connected by YZ.
I spoke too soon. YZ gets the action he was hoping for in his round. Russia on the side.
Nice shot.
He's in there. YZ get another one with the op, and Juicy has a round collapse all around him. Okay, Levius here should be unseated.
Okay, nicely handled from Billy.
I
didn't mind the idea from Wolves to force through the ult.
Deal with the Viper's been a minute at the start of the round. They end up getting forced after this exploration down ramp onto B, where YZ is patiently awaiting them.
I think that is a good little adaptation out of the timeout as well in the mid-round to try to punish one of the solo players on the extremities. The Wolves have been so happy to play 1-3-1s, commit very heavily with the pack towards mid. It was a little
Shaky,
unlucky for
thank you so
YU
much,
with
bro. Appreciate that.
timing. Billy happy to
Thank
pick
you,
that
thank
up.
you.
Still maintaining operator for YZ. Angle down mid right now. A lot of stingers here for the Wolves side.
There is a gap. YZ to exploit. Growler, of course, is something he's got to respect. Lysol wants to fill that
Dude,
space.
Juicy.
He's just
Really
vacated. So
going
once
for it with the
more,
stinger. It takes a little bit of a timing to go all the way. Nah, that would have been pure madness. Oh, no, he does go all the way. Gets the camera info from heaven. Omen flash on top of this. No way. YZ handled this pretty well, and he might have to do more. Ended up being a really nice round from Wolves on this one.
Bizarre round, absolutely ridiculous. Heaven maintained by Lysol with an operator of all things.
I wonder how the 2-person hold here had to get way more. Also, playing this close against an eco is not what I'd suggest.
Back to safety now, anchored deep in this A side, and it's the loose end of Spring. That could be a problem.
The crunch here was pretty nice. As soon as they got this info with the cam over towards heaven, this bounce flash was good. Are they gonna lose it? Lysol op. Big peek from you.
Lysol needs to connect this op shot now. They have one chance only, and he delivers. That leaves it on Levis's desk. Fortunately, in this round, he's feeling more like a paperweight than anything else. Off he goes. And Wolves, it's a ham-fisted, haphazard round. But
Yeah, this was nice from Wolves, though. For Billy, these two have to do better, but I liked how they handled middle. You got smoke that kind of vision blocks over towards here. Once they realized one was close, they just pounced fully. And then the Omen flash in to send it was awesome. Oh, that's how he got the kill? Damn, bro. Did good on A main. Yeah, they went too aggro over towards A, though, against the eco. No doubt about it.
With just 3 stingers.
Might be too much hair.
There.
Otherwise, spot on.
Are you trying to call out the Widow's Peak, bro?
No, I didn't say that. That was you. As a member of the large and in charge forehead club.
Where are we at? Where's the money?
Juicy with that.
Damn, dude. If Billy lose this, it's a rough half.
The A side.
But again, this is like hard to play against. I like putting the Cypher over towards B. I think this is strong. This is the default that I would recommend the most, because especially as like the passive pressure that the cages do over towards here is like only once, so you can kind of clear this with the Sky Util, whether it's one flash, whether it's one dog. Then over towards B, this is like the one that can perma do pressure multiple times, so putting a Cypher here makes a lot more sense.
Man, again, he makes the opening. Gets caught out by Nep.
Big Joe, just absolutely sends it.
Somewhat efficiently into this A side.
That was a slow trade. Juicy getting a little bit disconnected from YU, who needed to win that duel and does come up. BLG, do they risk this?
Luck on Heaven as well. They got no idea, man. Spring might have to.
Their economy in the balance. It's teetering, and this time Spring has the timing. Rolls a reverse, and Spring delivers for flying 2.
He's really good, man. Spring's been really good.
To 2. BLG were hoping to find him alone.
Nice, nice timing over towards Heaven here as well.
Late
dude, every single half it feels like he has a really impactful round. Obviously, I feel like this one was pretty much won as well already, but
yeah, in this half, typically was just coming from A main.
Oh! Oh, the heel turn. He's too quick with it.
He has a whole bit planned.
BLG, they are relegated to a bad bye. Things feel like they're beginning to get complete.
That's incredible.
Spring has gotten another
He's playing both of them.
For a post plan. They're nearing the nightfall, nearing the showstopper. You know, a couple collected orbs, kills for the right players, spike plant for the right guy, and there could just be a sick array of ultimates for the last buy round in this half.
Okay, force him down to an eco as well. It's nice for Wolves.
4, unless they can come up with something on this eco round.
Last eco for Billy.
Why is he bringing out the judge? Yeah, he did it a couple of rounds ago. They lost though. Wolves handled it well and they went heavy Heaven.
This time it's a more passive, more patient start, but now we have an encounter brewing amid these smokes. Oh, Rushi is spotted. Spring hardly takes any
Sitting in a
damage.
Viper smoke.
Gun advantage, he looks to exacerbate, and once
Dude, this
more,
guy's
history
confidence way too high now.
repeats itself.
Gets that info as well.
Spring a little bit low, but he's done the most.
Damn, dude. Back-to-back 3Ks.
Distributing catnip amongst BLG. So Knight has to step up, try and stop the bleeding. It's not possible.
30 seconds
Spring, just no doubt, has been one of the best players of this Swiss stage. When we watched him online,
Spring, yeah,
during
he's
the
been
run
awesome.
to get here, oftentimes volatile because of his willingness to just take fights on lurks, on defense, play a lot of off angles. He loves to take a duel. But when he's playing like this, he just looks like a god among men. He had games like that online, but when he had misses, that was putting the rest of the squad in tough positions.
Yeah, and honestly,
trying to
with this at the
recover. He
moment,
has been so
1 point
consistent
Juicy can just go farm
in
because
this
it's
Swiss
worth dying here.
I mean,
It's
if
worth
he plays
guilt.
like this against some of the other top teams, which I mean, to be fair, he already has. It feels like the sky is the limit for this guy. What a debut on the international stage. Just cleans up another. Why not? The spray control for that second kill in heaven.
Got Viper off to
Working
get over
out
towards
in-
side as well.
That's mental. 14 and 8 right now.
There's that first encounter. Yeah, Rushi just can't really find that level of purchase. That is astonishing.
Playoffs draw tonight? Yeah, it's after this. Well, after Paper X
Beautiful
Liquid.
swing, whereas elsewhere there wasn't a whole lot to do for the rest of Wolves on the A side.
And that map one, it was in terms of the fragging coming down to Lysor, unlikely hero, stepped up on the deadlock, IGL Supap, but now we're back to what we expected, the duo of
Okay,
Juicy
change up
and
for
Spring
Wolves.
putting in
They
work.
do their
They
wall
have a
over towards
showstopper
middle
and a pin.
now.
Again, just use that first raise ult to get into a site. Viper's pitching, trying to close things out. Supap drawing some attention towards mid. Center the Prowler breaks the boom bar. Here comes the aggression towards A.
Juicy needs to clean open.
Dude, how many opening kills are they going to get over towards spawn?
Juicy gets into the site without
The
being picked
discipline
up.
levels are like
Just
non-existent.
here at ramp and can't get out. Caught up, Rushi. Nice timing. Zulfat dealt with, and now it's Juicy. Deep as he is. Just got the ping on Rushi's location to take the challenge. He needs yet another one. And
Oh my
Juicy
god, they're way too calm. They won that as well.
He waited
Oh, big
years to get
1v2.
onto
I feel
this
bad for Billy
stage.
Billy, but honestly, the amount of
And he is putting
3
on
kills they're giving him on
absolute
defense
show.
today.
Star
They deserve to have a
player
rough
for
half,
Wolves.
yeah.
Dominant half on attack here. Again, they are so sick on this map.
What a way to send yourself into the break. Then around like
Calm,
this. Red
though.
Bull clutch for Juicy. Feels like he's got that main character energy right now for
Yeah, they
Wolves.
look good.
And it's history repeating itself. 8-4 scorelines all the same from Wolves against Sentinels. A great attack side. Have they shored up some of their weaknesses on the defense side? That's something Coach Fade, who's feeling good right now, I'm sure, has to start thinking about as we look towards them taking an opportunity to qualify for those playoffs. More to come here after
Vibes
the
are good on the
break.
Wolves team, yeah.
It's a
Again, they
crazy
play some
split
maps
and a
pretty
four-round
nice.
lead for Wolves.
They do play some maps pretty nice.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in.
Eight to 4 after
Try and
losing
beat it. I'll give
pistols.
you a
Yeah, the Billy Billy defense stats didn't look good coming into this, and it didn't get much better. I don't even know who this dude is, to be honest, Sonia. Ray dude, thank you so much for the prime. Thank you for that. No berries with the prime. Thank you for the 6 months as well. I appreciate that as well. Nidos 66 as well. Thanks so much for the 9 months, mate. You also for that. Wolves? Yeah, Wolves look kind of hard to play against, some of their stuff. I love their approach to this event, to be honest. I still think they have some weak maps. And even though they beat Heretics on Lotus, I think Lotus is one of them, but... Jackdaw. with the Prime. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the 30 months. And Ray Graphics Live as well. Thank you so much, Ray, man. Appreciate the 2 years as well.
Here's your Coinbase econ report for our first half of split.
How far can they go? I still think they're probably going to get first picked. But there's a couple of maps that teams will struggle against if they don't have a good game plan.
Pretty extraordinary in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's that spike early because he goes off in the initial couple rounds where not a whole lot is being invested, and then from there it's just consistent.
Schwester as well. Thanks so much for the 5 months. Thank you, thank you.
For this Wolves team, hitting so hard mechanically, he's looking like one of the sharpest.
Okay, they're gonna win a pistol and just end this.
Stage that we've been going through. You mentioned it before we went off.
My guy's still thinking about the Bren Sideshow cosplay thing. It was pretty good.
That's where things fell apart. And when Coach Fade called the timeout late, when they got back into the game, it was too little, too late. They were already down by too much of a significant amount. BLG, they have an opportunity to get back in this. They weren't able to beat Wolves the last time they faced off on split.
What determines the pick order for the draw? It's RNG, yeah.
Much of their success in their first half was on the back of YZ.
It's not great.
Even going as far as to pick up that operator.
I do hope this is the last time we see 18 Swiss with the head start. It's too much RNG, man, for one of the 3 tournaments a year. The Herald says with the Prime, thank you with the 9 months, dude. Thank you, thank you. Nice little native right there.
Spring here by the Trailblazer, stunned up, but K9 is going to be a problem here, emerging from ropes.
So many here, though. Okay, let's see what Billy got.
And so it's Lysor, someone who we delightedly highlighted.
They need this, yeah, they needed this. Double pistol on this map, though.
Excellent. A little bit more muted here.
OP_2 as well with the tier 1. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you, thank you.
The Wolves are still going to need him to be at capacity to close this series out.
Excellent flank.
Sophia Valorant with the Prime, thank you so much as well.
An extreme distraction. There was
Thanks to the 9 months. Just a straight shout out to women. Thank you so much, dude.
Had to get out of dodge from. And that just offers him up no information towards mid, and he fully exploits that by putting his mark on the game after having a pretty silent first half himself. Coming up. BLG have needed him.
Is there any downside to having a 12-team Swiss? I mean, yeah. Like, you're getting 2 of the better teams in groups facing off each other in terms of Liquid Paper X. You're also getting a giant RNG element coming in with fast pick against the Swiss as well. Like, we're just adding heavy RNG elements. Or are you talking about having 12-team Swiss instead of 8-team Swiss?
YZ is able to tuck around.
All of it's not great. Again, I should love Swiss as a content creator because the easiest content you can do is live draw as a video and like with the reaction and the pick'ems, but it's just not good.
Truly, they just go over to this A side, right? They kind of hesitated for a moment though, and that is going to allow BLG to get into the side.
16, yeah, I could be down for 16, but I would still rather not have people going through really early on. Okay, cleans it up pretty well. We got the Cypher getting the early ball.
Orb for a player on Billy. All good. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. It was a cool little attempt from Wolves. They throw out that haunt. If it gets broken, the Paranoia want to swing out of the dark cover, but the positions for Billy here were safe early on in that round. Just trying to play around and circumvent something exactly like that.
Player standing.
Clean things up. Able to just pivot over to that A side, rotate faster than Wolves could, who are now on the full buy. This is a strong bonus for Billy. A lot of weaponry to play with.
Okay, first big buy rounds.
The best among them.
This could still get pretty close, so we'll stick with it. Okay, honestly, Cam should have seen like 3 crosshair, so they might try and do some different, maybe some reaction over towards mid. They definitely saw 3 here.
That is cleared. And again, we'd like this from Billy on Ascent too. Good early moves, clearing that util, not fully.
What about like in CS where teams rank each other? The problem with that is everyone thinks that their region's incredible.
Go work mid.
Like everyone's so tunnel visioned on their own region that they think that their region's really good. They don't actually
Diligent
get much of an idea of how the other regions play.
force the spring away.
With that attention on mid-weight, is this a timing
Yeah, and that's nothing against them. You're spending all your time in your own region.
Here's the execute onto the B side. Juicy from Raptor, fully blinded.
Shrugs it off though. Just around the corner is K-Knight. Blast back thrown out to disrupt potentially Lysor.
Big jewel here. Gotta get one.
Oh. But why is he able just to swoop around the corner? Spring. Oh
boy. And the Raze gets a little bit closer to ult as well. Oh, this might get really close. Got a trip over towards spawn. He's gonna have to go through as well.
That's why you try and go for this. Can he find a first kill? He's going to have to break this tripwire. Give up his positioning, swing out. Oh, so much damage. He's got too many players able to face him after the trip is broken. I love the pathing from BLG on that round. The early pressure on ramp, they leave the insert. Then from there, they go back to mid. They're set up in a 1-3-1. They fake like, hey, we could be getting into vent, but we're also throwing the boombot into male. So when they actually go 4 people through B main, attention is just having to be drawn from so many players in different locations. You have Juicy scared about them coming through male.
Okay, force him down to an eco. Time to potentially get some money and potentially get some ults online as well. The focus for Billy here should really be obviously to win the rounds, but I think you would want to try get either of these ults online. Like especially with this camera that gets them B control here, like I'm getting this orb. Tap it once, maybe, see if anyone faces. This is an underrated default, to be honest, from Billy. I like this a lot. Trip over towards here. We used to call this the K-Corp. This was like the only good thing. Sure. This was the only good thing that 2023 K-Corp actually did. Like coming up with this trip. Like this was legit. Like this is a strong default.
Silfat crossing mid at a time, and that causes him and Bushi to pass like ships.
Dude, my guy's just run over towards Saint.
Hef has just gotten all the way into A, was running around as well, so
he's calling it too.
Wolves definitely, or rather BLG.
Wait, what is going on?
Totally aware of this point. Yeah,
he's had him run away as well. He calls back the team. They've done enough pressure over towards B, and then they're just out of there. Adderall, thanks so much for the Prime, mate. Appreciate the 3 months. Thank you.
Be shocked if they take too much damage here, but don't want to speak too soon. Spring and Juicy do have sheriffs.
Might have been tempted to get that orb. At least give the Raze the plant.
So good. Wolves need round wins on the board.
10 seconds left.
All right, well, cat's out the bag now for Wolves.
Yeah,
again,
let's see.
Like Billy, you can never
again, I'm focusing on these two to try to get some of these ecos.
Moves and reveal themselves pretty late into a round.
Do they save enough money to buy an op? Yeah, they do. If they want one.
Fully entrenched, anchored in the A side, they're armed to the teeth. Wolves know there's just no outcome that will result in them really taking a round win from here. So set up for what you can. It's a rifle for young Spring.
One gun recovered, another kill for the board, sitting at a cool 18 right now.
It's a question of like what the plan should be going forward for Wolves. This early action hasn't exactly been fruitful. There we go.
Yeah, big jewel. Nah, not even.
Not to perish for the spike.
All right.
So
do they want a timeout before this, or are they cool?
4 rounds in a row picked up for Billy. Building very nicely off a pistol win into a bonus win. Whereas Wolves have been a little absent. Haven't really been able to unravel things. And we've seen when the pace of the game gets taken away from them, they have at times struggled to assert themselves.
Wait. How do they have so many of the signs?
That is a full
We got so many layers to this, man. There's way too much thought process gone into that. Okay, insta trip over towards middle for Wolves, and they want to get a little bit more proactive. This is I like this from Billy as well. They're just switching out the passive pressure of the Cypher and the Viper. They've now gone for how Wolves like to play it, with the wall and smoke here. Like they're not doing it with timeouts, they're just doing it on their own accord as well, which is pretty cool. Big jewel over towards A.
Returning to this point, but Juicy was the one that got Wolves rolling They had a rough start to this
Okay,
match.
smoke, vision block over towards mid. Dog goes out as well, so they take middle. They also have B main pressure, and they have A having pressure to a little bit, because this side.
Create an opportunity.
They got good map control.
Credit to the rest of them, they did convert on those.
All events just taken for free. Some good map control right now for BLG. Dark cover
Smoke goes out. They take A control. Prowler goes over towards B. Oh, dude, the late B is going to be nice, especially they create pressure over towards heaven. Rotate.
Look at how they pulled the rotation.
It's weird because they kind of did the leak smoke out, which means that this person's not going to overstep. So actually, the rotate's always going to be 3 here. They kind of own themselves.
Positioning broken as Neff dives on out. Lysor here has to come alive. And there might just be enough. Stunning follow-up.
Damn, dude, that was nice, though.
Levy's here is bereft of teammates running out of
Good
time.
flash, good aim.
It certainly doesn't have a lot of options at his disposal. Wolves finally rewarded for their patience, trying not to over-rotate early, even though Juicy was at risk of doing just that. Levy doesn't have time to plant here, it's done.
That really is the key. Both of these teams just playing that slow style on attack, not over-committing. They are happy to make these late pivots.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, they did the smoke on heaven, but it ends up, because you end up having to watch them walking into spawn anyway as well. So even though they create the pressure over towards A, because of the smoke, they actually kept one in the spawn, which meant there was a fast rotate over towards heaven here. They kind of own themselves with the smoke.
And has arrived on the stage.
That has got to feel vindicating.
Fashion.
Vindicating for Lysor. Again, having such a fantastic showing on Ascent. He was a little bit slow to start here, but that's composure, that's years of experience, that anchoring on that B
Okay,
side.
change of pace from Billy. Fast over towards heaven. Haven't had the camera yet.
And if Wolves can follow up their slower approach to these defense side rounds with precision and composure like that, they'll have the stopping power against this BLG team.
If the Sky gets a kill, they get their all. Still got trip over towards middle, give him full info.
Get him very close to the Seekers being activated in this round. Set up to play off this unbreakable trip, doubled up. Again, it's just this patience from BLG, which does feel very un-BLG-like. When is YZ just going to run it down and just keep pushing?
Yeah, I mean,
really haven't seen.
Again, Billy take a good amount of map control all the time.
In fairness, that kind of requires a bit of a lighter touch.
Okay, now it's a B fake into an A here.
Work the map. They pulled a bunch of early rotations from Wolves in the previous rounds.
Levius takes the timing.
Levius has walked up,
Yeah, they kill and clear this early with the Prowler. Got a trip over towards site. Cage here as well. Might be able to give him a smoke. Woman ult goes in as well. Big trip here.
There's no way to double down on at least secure a trade. Why are you good for a light sword to the rescue? Just the one this time around.
He did good though. They did good back at site.
Down to 33 health for 2 players about to cost him from that heaven side. This would have to be a monumental clutch. Pinged out by the Horde.
Very nicely handled.
Dispatches.
Yeah, they did so good back at site here. They got so many between them. It's a nice setup though.
For Billy. But such a good start to this half means they've been inoculated from this sort of volatility. Can still keep the pressure on with those weapons. But Wolves are getting more comfortable in this slower, more anchor-centric approach.
This was great from Lysor to get over to assist.
Didn't really like the timing of the 10 HP luck over towards B.
So even though they got a pick elsewhere and theoretically would have loved to play for a retake with man advantage, that wasn't an option. They needed to help YU. Lysor gets over there with the ult. They double up. Anchor so effectively. And now we've got the timeout call. BLG are in serious danger. Wolves
I wonder what their money's
back
like.
into this defensive half, stringing rounds together much earlier than they could against Sentinels. It was, in that game, too little too late. But here, able to get back in the lead. Close to so many ultimates that could be used on one of these full buy rounds. Applying pressure to Billy.
And for Wolves, a win here against Billy, or at least having to play against them for that spot in playoffs. Bittersweet, I'm sure, as all these Chinese teams would love to see one another advance forward, but this region has already well and truly put themselves on the map in the past. In 2024, we know what they're capable of. But even still, Wolves being the team that might advance to playoffs over Billy.
There it is, the attack op.
They've shown such
The Chinese classic.
grit and quality of play over the course of this group stage. Still a couple of rounds from that kind of milestone, but I'm sure they're thinking of it. I'm sure they're trying not to, but I'm sure it's there.
Out of this timeout, adjustment for Billy. Wisely picks up the attack side operator. We saw him do this a
Yeah.
lot.
At least have a rifle that can shoot this as well for him.
Finding success, some crazy multi-kills.
Oh, this is nice
as
though.
well.
And on top of that, they create the pressure that they're over towards B. This is pretty nice from Wolves though, right? They've been playing like insanely passive. Insanely passive, and then the timeout goes in, Billy are changing their own stuff up, and then they go and actually go aggro over towards B main. Like the first time they've done this.
Wolves have not been giving it BLG anything. They're not offering themselves up. They are content just playing safe in these sites, waiting for late rounds. I mean, this could be an opportunity. Maybe YZ posts up, catches a jump spot from Lysor.
Flash over towards A, Heaven with the wall, but as we can see, cameras spawning all of this. Missed a big chance to get that kill. Prowler goes out over towards middle as well. Doesn't see anything that can take a timing. Still going to deal with the trip. Time's going to get pretty low on this one.
Smokes rotated there by Lysor. And the cat's out of the bag about this operator buy.
I could see a situation here where this trip gets broken and then maybe a showstopper comes through. Yep, there it is from Juicy. He can't even get it off in time.
Oh boy. The Omen flash back though, still got 25 seconds.
Season, a golden opportunity to play off that season, gets one, but doesn't expect there to be so many. Almost
Oh, what a savior that is. My goodness. 33 HP, it wasn't convincing.
To stop Billy in their tracks, but the patience from the attackers has absolutely paid off.
Yeah, get Razor into next round as well.
And why he's got no business being on that B side of the map.
Just a moment away from Juicy likely converting two if he was able to get that rocket fired. But Neff was a little bit too quick with the spray down.
Oh, a little bit like Wolves weren't
Juicy was just hesitant.
super aware of the time here.
A slight moment before
He started getting so much util out and getting caught off, and I think it's like way too late in the rounds to not expect everyone to be swinging.
They've still got enough money to buy here. We head into the next round, still maintaining the lead, but just barely.
Good news for their money though. 4 people surviving.
On this map, Billy have looked so much better here today.
Shadows traveling.
Yeah, we've really got to, I think, acknowledge the step up from both sides. I mean, the Ascent gameplay for Wolves is light years apart from what we saw last time they played Billy with a really very poor showing on that map. Last time out here for Wolves, Billy having
QM or TL mark for maximum cast power, mate. I'm always wearing it. Like the last 5 years, that should have built up something. If you believe in that.
And it's essentially at, you know, give or take a couple rounds, more would ascend, but the exact same juncture in that game where it was very late on the defensive half.
You see, the Sufat doesn't expect there to be more than one player in Mailroom. I mean, Wolves are giving up so much of the map that it's really hard for them to get current and relevant information. So, you know, things like how many players are stacked up, the fact that there was 3 BLG players in mid, they don't have a mechanism with which to find that out in advance. That's why Sufat's caught with util in his hand, hoping to try and haunt to see what else is happening in mid.
Saying you care too much.
In the world, they kind of know there are multiple players there. They play around the seas a little differently. Maybe a more passive angle on the showstopper.
It's a waste of effort, if anything.
One of the adjustments that was made by BLG when they were on defense against a similarly slow-paced attack side was picking moments to double push into B main or A main to try and fight that one player that was stood there. You know, up until this
I was going
point,
to say
it
they're
was
gonna try force. Wait, they're actually going to try force into this one. Okay, what do you got? Rest of your team's forcing.
Play around their anchors.
Sure.
But at some point here, we'll probably want to get more proactive.
It's going to get insanely close if Billy win this one. They got a lot of ults for this as well. They should be winning it.
The BLG are trying to
Change it from Wolves, deep smoke over towards A, trying to make sure they don't have this lurk pressure over towards A that they've been doing all the time.
So Coach Fade, has he been able to cook something up for Wolves in this round number 20? Game is getting uncomfortable. In fairness, it has been uncomfortably tight in the second half. Wolves took a long time to get started, losing pistol and bonus, allowing the game to be evened at 8-8. Since then, it's been haymakers from both sides, but back and forth round results.
Trailblazer is...
I mean, they held the line here the whole time. This pressure over towards B didn't do too much.
If you can find a kill, has that Viper's Pit on this round.
That showstopper could be pretty relevant. YZ's trying to open up mid with this op. Juicy this time feels like a more subtle.
Dude, how many does he get from here?
Room in heaven might be in order.
Why is he going to contact first? Oh no, an off clearing this angle first.
No one able to trade. K-Knight trying to get into the site, trying to make something happen.
We pushed up with an op. YZ was out in front of the wire. This time, Juicy.
Oh man, and look at their rolls as well.
Flawless.
Yeah, it's one to look back at and be like, well, this is where we lost it.
Room has changed. Juicy out of his seat.
He didn't even like full clear it. That's the problem as well. The half clear with an op.
Into what they've had to do to try and take the map. Pushing up on the op on that angle.
Just a little movement adjustment keeps the control on the spray to get
Just
an
hold
instant
heaven and get someone
headshot
else to
when
do
Nef
it.
have to swing in. Can feel it.
And the
Wolves
news
are on
for
the
Wolves is
precipice
just they
of
had so many
doing
people
the
surviving here that the money gets
unthinkable.
good.
To some extent, both of these teams written off, but to a seriously greater extent for Wolves. And they are right within touching distance of making it into the playoffs. More so than I think any other international tournament in the past. China has been written off.
Nice
here,
early
and yet
damage.
we're about to get 2 teams in the playoff run.
Even before that, we have a rivalry renewed. The 9th matchup between Wolves and Bilibili, one that Bilibili historically have dominated. 6-2 is their record. But more recently, it's this Wolves team that have come of age, that have come alive, and that have developed a new facet to their game. Bilibili grouped here with 3 on the B side. Once again, they don't get offered much early. In fact, Nef's on the receiving end of some shots down mid from Sealfat.
Big Razor.
The showstopper could be just
The straight up send.
Oh
man.
Decent little intuition, but he's about to back away.
It's nicely done from YZ. That's okay. Does he get traded?
With the raise now can turn his attention to the site itself, but it's wayward. Levius holds his ground. Nef low, but still being made use of on the A side to keep a couple of players there.
The Omen just sorted over towards A to try and get a plant potentially.
To bolster the attack side forces it B. Neural Theft forces Sealfat out. Now they know where the fade is playing from.
You could see Suvat really wanted to get in, but couldn't find the timing. Nef.
Yeah, Nef just needs to
Patience
stay away.
required. He can't overplay his hand. Just simply existing in the back line, so Wolves know eventually they'll have to deal with this flank. Look at Lyser, the way he has to adjust, just expecting this flank to come at some point. But Nef merely needs to stay alive. Keep them distracted.
Lyser.
Very early from Nef.
Critics be damned. Fights 2. Tries to open this up, but now 1v2 for the round in time. Really not working for him at all. Maybe looking to keep a cap on these guns. Get in there and give it a tap. And unfortunately, his contemporaries.
But they got so much money from the round before that they're okay to buy into this one.
Right back to the tit-for-tat rounds we go. Bilibili get their 10th.
Spring was playing so close with that pit, so YZ had the ideal opportunity to catch him out with a showstopper. Sure, traded out by Juicy, who then tries to make the adjustment. Losing the duel to Levi as Sufat wanted so desperately to get into assists, but just had no chance to do
Nice
it.
shots though.
I will see you.
It's so funny.
The Viper roll? Nah, the Viper roll was fine, to be honest. I imagine he popped it just like a little bit earlier.
This is really looking like a chess match between our teams.
Like, YC just handled it pretty well.
Rotations to pull across the map.
Okay, now this is the round though, because if Wolves lose this, most likely we get 12 on the board for Bilibili. So the must-win rounds. Omen flash over towards side was pretty good here. Just spam through Fatal. Gives you info, but not too much.
Connecting onto multiple players now.
Despite this, Nef still looking for opportunities to get onto the A side proper.
Yeah, look at this early info though from everyone over towards Wolves. Info all in mid, info over towards B, 3-person can hold strong.
Place in mid, and an AWP picked up from Juicy that's controlling B. They can be steadfast. 3 players ready here on A.
Right now they got the perfect coverage. It's up to BLG here to generally manifest an opportunity.
Look at this Spring aware. Wants to double up.
Gonna get low again time-wise. Spike's going over towards middle. Could be the end of the round right here.
Cleared there, Spring into action.
End of the round.
The BLG now. Spike's in mid, but their players are over on the A side of the map. All but unrecoverable, this situation. Spring will just bide his time. Can trade his life, that's fine.
One enemy
Why he
remaining.
pops up and pops right back down. Not the kind of game of whack-a-mole he's looking to play. He's on the wrong side of that arrangement. still prevails against Spring, but there are other players waiting for
Okay,
it.
Wolves with 2 chances to close this one out. They've been looking nice. It's been a couple of rough decisions from Billy. They don't give themselves many options sometimes, but
Spring's made such an intelligent rotation there into Vents after things were slowed down. There was that noise cut from BLG, pivoting to play the cross with YU, expecting that the BLG team would either try to work themselves into a split or at least try to draw some attention back towards mid to get some rotates off that A site. He is prepped, ready.
Razor as well. They got to go up against a Razor on defense and the op. Trip over towards middle's been causing him a bit of a nightmare.
The unthinkable. Juicy locking down.
Here we go.
With this op, can he find the opening?
I mean, we're just dry swinging this, it looks like.
Camping down, it's K-Knight down already. And yet, Billy still determined to look for something here at B. Why you overextend, showstopper, YZ. Oh, he gets tracked by Juicy.
That's impressive.
Now he can fall back onto the side, still with this op in hand. Neural theft revealing the BLG are all about this B side.
Sick round, dude. Just don't overheat. Just don't overheat. You won the round. Don't do it.
He feels the weight of consequence on his shoulders.
Still good.
He knows how close Wolves
They struggled
are
to plant here so much.
completing a miracle run here through groups.
They have to safe plant. You're all good.
Just one more step. Nap low, Viper's bit up here for Levius. They've at least got that to work with the Billy. Have fully committed. Still no spike plant. Levius has not found a window in order to deploy that. And F is looking for a timing, a way out. Lightsaw deals with him. And it's on Levius now, all on the Viper, who still hasn't found a chance.
Damn, nicely done from Wolves. 2-0 on this one as well. Really strong. Really strong. Yeah, they just look better on both the maps. Nothing else to say about it, really.
In our Masters Toronto playoffs.
Juicy.
Still a little rough from Billy, some of the way that they handle also like the discipline on defense is like really lacking. They give him a lot of opening picks. Wolves? Yeah, Wolves are one of those teams, right? They're going into playoffs, and again, without a good game plan on some of these maps, you might struggle. They play different to a lot of teams.
He doesn't fear elimination.